Okay, so we're on to page 2 of chapter 8 notes, 8.1. Very first thing, again, we see, this is only one problem on here, and we're talked about here is the rate of change. The ratio of different units. From grade 10, we learned that this can also be represented as the slope of a line. So if you don't remember the formula, here it is. The difference of the y's over top of the difference of the x's gives us slope, which is written as m. And we're given a graph and we're asked to describe a scenario for the graph comparing the rates shown. To answer this better, I think what we have to do is understand the slope for each section. So let's look at one section at a time. First, we look at the slope from A to B. We can write it like this with m, which stands for slope subscript AB, because that is the slope we were talking about. If we look at the difference of the y's over top of the difference of the x's, what we have here, if you look what's in green, is we have 2 and 30. What that relates to is the x value and the y value of our coordinate B. So remember, x's are always written first, so 30 is our x, that goes on the bottom, 2 goes up on the top. Then, if we look at our black arrow, what we have is our next coordinate, which is down at A, is 0, 0. So that corresponds to the y1 and x1 values in our formula here. We do a quick little bit of math. We have 2 minus 0 is 2, 30 minus 0 is 30. We simplify that and we get 1 kilometers per every 15 minutes. Next, we go on to the other ones. We'll start with slope BC. So again, we're doing the same thing where we have the difference of the y's over top of the difference of the x's. If we do some quick math, we see that 2 minus 2 is 0 over top of 10. 0 over 10 is the same as 0 kilometers over any amount of minutes. That means we're not moving at all. So now let's look at the third slope here, which is slope CD. And as you see from the first three, it is the steepest one. So again, we're doing this using the exact same formula, difference of the y's over difference of the x's. We have 5 minus 2 on the top and 60 minus 40 on the bottom. This simplifies to 3 over 20. And we have one more left, and that is slope DE. So here we have 0 minus 5 and 65 minus 60. And when we do some math, we see that we get negative 5 over 5. And once that simplifies, it is negative 1 kilometer for every minute. And if we think about what that means, if we were to think of 60 minutes, which is an hour, that means we would be going 60 kilometers for every 60 minutes, or 60 kilometers an hour. And the negative sign here represents the direction going back to the starting point. Okay, so even though we have negative slope, it means we are going in the opposite direction that we started from. So we were asked to describe possible scenarios. So let's look at what the first one we could have said. AB, we could have said, is walking to the park from your home. BC, we're not moving at all. So maybe you stopped at the park to feed the pigeons. Everybody loves doing that, right? The next one, CD, we see that we are going at a quicker pace. We see a steeper slope. We ran to the friend's house. And the last one, we're going at a rate of, we said, 1 kilometer per minute or 60 kilometers an hour. I don't think we can run that fast or ride a bike that fast, so we drove home in a car. These are possible scenarios. You could have thought of other ones if this was a question on a test, open-ended. Lots of possible examples. So that is 8.1. Here are the practice questions that go with 8.1.